We'll get to the point where we're saving millions and millions of lives a year between the repellents and the filters. $1 will buy somebody clean water for 10 years. We're down now with our latest product. We can give somebody 10 years of clean, safe water for 30 cents. Henry Ford said if I asked people what they wanted, they'd say, I want a faster horse. They didn't know, but to solve the problem, he got them a car. How hard is it to be paid well and work for a company that's absolutely changing the world? We've already done some 30 million people have had their lives changed through these filters, and we save hundreds of thousands of babies' lives every year. But because I own it, we don't have to make a profit. So we can just give these things away. And it's absolutely life-changing to these people.
What up, Entrepreneur Masters? Welcome to the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast, where grit meets inspiration. I'm a 2-time author, trained business coach, world-class sales trainer, 3 times Ironman finisher, 23 years sober. My mantra, I exist to persist. And each week, I'll bring you powerful stories from relentless entrepreneurs, gritty business owners, and leaders who've mastered perseverance. Now is the time to get ready for these top strategies, these mindset shifts, and the inspiration you need to conquer your goals. David Hill is my name, and closing sales is my game. Enjoy. Hey, what's up, Masters? Welcome to another episode of the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we're with Mr. Kurt Avery. Kurt, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great myself. Thanks for asking. And hey, I'm excited to have you here today. We're going to talk about the gift of giving and transforming your business and community. And you do something that's pretty unique where you're helping people all over the world with your products. So you want to tell us a little bit about who you are, Kurt, and what you do with your products?
Yeah, it's called Sawyer Products, Sawyer.com. We're very prominent in all the camping stores. So we do high-level insect repellents. We do the military. We're called a boutique. We really do the most advanced repellents on the market. Pretty big on Amazon and the camping stores. Wherever there's a camping department, we're going to be there. And water filtration, we're very dominant. We came from kidney dialysis. So if you can clean water, you can clean blood. It's the other way around. If you clean blood, you can clean water. So we brought out a point-of-use filter where you just dip it in the stream and you drink and everything's safe. We don't care if the cows are pooping in it or anything. And we're very dominant in the United States. We have a very nice retail business, very profitable. But then we sat down and he said, you know what? This is an incredible product. And I own 100% of the company, so nobody gets to tell me what to do with it. There's no U-Hauls in heaven, so I get to get rid of it now. And we give them the filter. So we have 140 agencies in 80 countries. So we're everywhere. Any country that needs water, we're going to be there. Our agencies, big ones, Samaritan's Purse, UNICEF, FEMA, American Red Cross, all the big ones. Like right now we're in Jamaica and Haiti. We got a lot of filters down there. You just drink the water at your feet and it's all safe. And our filters never wear out. So that's pretty unique. We're at a higher level than anybody else. So we go into a village and within 2 weeks, nobody's sick. We wipe out all the waterborne diseases. They even consolidate the medical clinics because they don't have customers anymore. So it's a privilege to be able to do that. And we can do it because we have the technology. We can be very generous. I always say, if we made cupcakes, we'd have to sell the cupcakes, make the profit, pay the taxes, and then give away what's left. But because I own it, we don't have to make a profit. So we can just give these things away. And it's absolutely life-changing to these people. The sickness is gone. We save them money because they're not boiling or buying water. They're not wasting trees and carbon energy because you don't boil. The kids are healthy. They go to school. The parents can go to work. It's really a transforming type thing. And obviously, all the hurricanes were what everybody takes to the hurricanes. So pretty fun.
Sounds like you're making a difference. And I think that's really important for our listeners. And also, you said a couple of things I want to break down a little bit. But the first is, how did you get really good at giving? Have you always been like that? Or is this something that came to you? Like, why is that important?
Yeah, I'm an old country boy. Grew up on a gentleman's farm. So we would sell, there's always 13 ears of corn and a dozen, and there's always an extra tomato or extra cucumber. So we've always been on the giving side. I have a deep faith and I believe in giving. You can't outgive God type thing. But it's just easy because we live comfortably. I don't need anything more. I got my truck and I got new shoes every few years. What do I need? It's just so transforming. When you see how you can change a life, I don't know how you could not do that. We've already done some 30 million people have had their lives changed through these filters, and we save hundreds of thousands of babies' lives every year. How do you not do that when you can? And it's so simple for us.
Yeah. So I love that you said that. So let's put yourself now in the shoes of some of our listeners that haven't changed 30 million lives or don't have us in a situation where they don't need the income. How does someone like that become good at
Well,
giving? Where do they
I don't know
start?
if yeah, the premise, I don't know if you saw, wrote a book called Sawyer Thing. And the premise of that book is we want to help you. I have a storied career, MBA, Northwestern, worked for some pretty prestigious companies. And so I've picked up a few tricks along the way to how to make business better. So I got 25 lessons in there, hopefully make your business stronger and better. And now that it is more profitable, what do you do with the profits? So we give you examples of what we do. Every chapter ends with what we're doing around the world and we do insect repellents as well. So the whole premise of Sawyer is let me help teach you how to make a better business, how to start a business, get the tripwires out of the way. There's no such thing as unintended consequences. We don't have excuses. You think it through ahead of time. So if we can make your business better and you're making more money, which you didn't need because you were living good anyways, why not give it away? You can't take it with you. No U-Hauls in heaven. May the last check bounce is another one of the theories, but we have a foundation, so it will carry on. But what else you here for? You only got a short time on earth. Why not do something with it? It doesn't have to be what we're just stumbled upon something really good because the filter is so life changing. But this applies to anything. If you have a restaurant, it's not that you have extra food, it's that you buy at wholesale. So you can feed people locally or anywhere else because you have buying power or
Mm.
electricians or whatever. So there's always a way that you can use your business to help people. And it's very satisfying. There's studies that show if you do that, you're going to live longer anyways. It just changes your heart. And so always a way to plug in. Could be local, could be regional, could be in the US, could be the hemisphere, whatever. There's always a place to plug in and help people. You can go down, and if you're an accountant, you can go down to foreign countries and teach them how to be accountants. There's always some way you can plug in.
Yeah. I want to ask this question, and I do want to get in a couple of your business strategies and then kind of wrap it up again on giving. But is it easier to give now than when you had less, or was it easier to give? Because I wasn't. I had to learn to give, and I
Yeah.
probably could. I think I could still give more, to be honest with you. But I feel like it's not necessarily I don't know if you, and I'm clearly not articulating this very greatly. But if you have $1,000, is it harder to give $100 than to have $100,000 and give $10,000?
It's definitely a discipline and it's a function of your heart. We were not always good. We use the phrase, we lost money 23 of the first 25 years till we became an overnight success. So
Mm.
I can assure you we had our hard times getting this thing going. No,
But were you still giving even
oh
when
yeah,
you were losing money? Yeah.
yeah. I took when we were really struggling. I took outside jobs so I didn't have to burden the company. But I'm a believer, a Christian, and so I never gave less than 10%. But I always believed you
Mm.
had to give more theocracy. But yeah, I always liked the story where a guy said, I was down, I had nothing left. So I put everything in the offering plate and asked God to just do something. Now he's rich. And somebody asked him, would you do it again? You either have the heart for giving or you develop it. God doesn't make you have to be poor. You're allowed to have wealth and all that stuff and live comfortably. But boy, it's so rewarding to help other people. So I don't know. Yeah, we always did. We always did, even in the tough times. Now it's easy, obviously. It's not much of a burden, but we still, if you were to come to our factory, you'd say, that is a dump. This place looks, why don't you fix it up? And I said, the problem we have is $1 will buy somebody clean water for 10 years. We're down now with our latest product. We can give somebody 10 years of clean, safe water for 30 cents. How do y'all do that? How can you go fix up your factory and make it look pretty when, those dollars mean so much more around the world? So once you know us, you come in and you appreciate the fact that we are not pretty. We're functional, but we're not pretty. We're clean and everything, but we're not. We don't spend the money on ourselves. You just can't when you see the impact that this does. So no, you learn to give. It's very satisfying, actually. So I think it's not we're starving. It's not like we're not eating. It's not like we don't
Sure.
have clothes we need, and we got a nice house that we bought over the years. But still, it's very rewarding. So just gated that way. But you can teach yourself to do that.
Yeah, I have over the years. I've taught myself to tithe, started by starting to go to church and just being around it long enough. And then helping, you want to help people. We just did a retreat this weekend and kid wanted to go. He didn't have the resources. And I was just like, all right, you know what? Let me handle it for you. Let me get you out there. And the kid was so appreciative. And I said, hey, you don't owe me anything, man. Just next guy that you see that needs to attend a retreat, do the same thing for him. That's it.
Exactly. You'll get it back. You'll get it back.
Yeah, whatever. One way or the other. But it's like you said earlier, though. I felt good being able to do that for him. And it also puts you in a place of abundance and you're thinking, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
There's enough.
Exactly. But you still got to have fundamental skills to make it so you can earn the money.
That's right.
You still, it isn't just guaranteed. Not everybody's a trust fund kid. You got to develop your skill sets.
So let's talk about your book. Your book is called, what is it? The Sawyer?
It's called Sawyer Think.
Sawyer Think.
There's a picture of it right there.
Got it. Okay.
It's not very expensive. It's basically an entrepreneurial guide to things. So what we're trying to do is teach you how we built Sawyer into the profitable thing it is now. It's a money machine right now. But we're trying to teach you how to avoid all the pitfalls and tripwires that are ahead of you, thinking these things through. I'm really big on creative destruction, trying to be 3-5 years ahead of everybody else. Yeah, I don't believe in unintended consequences. I believe that you just didn't think it through and it came up and bit you. So you got to be planning ahead. So there's a lot of tips on that, how to make decisions, how to build a business.
Got it. Okay. And do you believe the giving part, is it important? Do you think, well, I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is giving, are you as successful as you are because of your willingness to give throughout your whole life? Or do you think that's just a byproduct?
No, I think it is because, first of all, we believe God's had a hand on this business. There's some stories in the book here that it wasn't me. I'm not that smart. It was God had some things planned and bailed us out. And we did some things like we were making filling 2,000 bottles of sunscreen a week. And I bid on 200,000 a week for Gulf War I, and we did it. That's insane. But we did it. And we got awards for being one of the best vendors. So I think big. I'm a very big guy, very big thinking. I'm outside the box. I don't even know where the box is. Why not? You got one life. Go for it. There's no debt or prisons. Go for it. But do your planning and whatnot. But even when we were losing money 23 out of the first 25 years, I knew we'd make it because we had the right stuff. We just had to grind it out. But it took a few skills to be able to keep all the debtors that we owed money to at the front door. But they all believed in what we did, and we made it. No, I think we knew long before we were making money that our products were going to change the world. And we've been giving them away for a long time because we can. Even when we were losing money, the cost of our product was so low that we were investing in our charity, if you will. Now everybody uses it. There's not a charity out there not using our filters for water filtration out in the boonies. And we just got another one 2 weeks ago. JAMA reported that if you use our chemical on the baby wrap that the moms carry their baby in, we reduce malaria by 67%, 2/3. So we've known we've had the products. And so you give away samples and you give away samples and you build that business. So we've been doing that for a long time.
So bring you back to
it's also marketing. You're putting samples out there at the same time and proving it. We probably spent $10 or more million proving that all our claims are true. We proved that we wipe out the waterborne sicknesses. And we proved that we saved them money, and we proved that they could go to school and all that kind of stuff. So we invested in the proof of all this stuff too. So while we were giving stuff away, it was also had a side benefit of proving and building a name for ourselves.
So in the midst of the last 25 years plus, and how long did it take you to really have that breakthrough where you became the success you are now, where all of a sudden your product is being used all over the world? Let's talk about those years of the 10 years, 15 years, 20 years that things weren't working. How'd you get through those years? Entrepreneur Masters, thanks for tuning in. I'll get you right back to the show. But first, let me tell you about something I've spent the last 3 years of my life building, Ringleader CRM. It's a complete sales and marketing system designed to help you automate your follow-up, automate your sales pipelines, and follow up like a genius. The goal, close more sales. And you know, follow-up is my superpower, and I've taken everything that's worked from the last 36 years of using CRMs and put them all into this one platform. And right now, you can grab a 14-day trial at ringleadercrm.com. At checkout, just check the box that says 14-day trial. And if you have questions, shoot me a message on any of my platforms. It's David I. Hill on all platforms. I'd love to hear what you're building. Again, ringleadercrm.com. Now, let's get you back to the show.
Oh, you had to grind it out because we knew we had the right stuff. First of all, I spent a lot of time sitting in the stores, talking to people. And what you're looking for is solutions to problems they don't know they have yet. So the greatest example is Henry Ford said, if I asked people what they wanted, they'd say, I want a faster horse. They didn't know, but to solve the problem, he got them a car. We would listen beyond the things that they suggested to say, what problem do you have that we can solve? And can we find an innovation solution to that problem? So you have to listen beyond the request to get to what problem can we solve. So we spent a lot of time in the stores. I'd be there 12 hours from open to close in some of these stores and just listen. And then once you start solving problems in an innovative way, you know you're going to make it. When we got in the water filter business, there were 70,000 units a year sold with clunky ceramic and matrix filters. And the store said, no, we sell these things for $90 and we make 45. I said, no, you're going to sell for $19.95, but you're going to sell so many more. I said, that's $10. I make 45. They sell millions of them. We took that market from 70,000 a year to multi-millions of these filters. So you have to see beyond the current situation when you're doing disruptions like that. And that's what we did. We knew where it was going to go. Now, we were still struggling because it took all that investment, but we knew it was going to explode someday, and it did.
Oh, congratulations, by the way. And I like to listen. Are there questions though are you really good at asking? Like, how do you get it out? I think you talked about Henry Ford helping people figure out problems they don't even know exist yet. How does somebody do that? How does somebody become good at that?
You have to train yourself. First of all, creative destruction does that a little bit. There's 3 things that change the world: technology, laws, and culture. So you sit there and you say, okay, what's going to happen? We change from millennials are not like Gen Zs. Gen Zs are not like alphas that are coming up. And we try and figure out before they come into our marketplace, what do we have to change to be able to communicate with them? And we do it. We've made massive changes to our communication strategies. So you always got to be thinking ahead. You know, what's going to happen? When Amazon went from a monitor to a platform, like a tablet or a phone, we were the first company that was already. We were there. We knew it was coming. Why would you use a monitor if you can have a portable device? So we changed all of our home pages and communication before people switched their technologies. So you got to think through what's going to change. Like TikTok, okay? Well, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, but that's where the audience is. So we have to change our messages to fit that versus these people come and go. Instagram and YouTube will stick around. All these things, they just come and go because people change what they want. So you have to be ready for that stuff. You have to think through what would happen. So the other thing though is I believe in asking the prior question. So if you make a statement to me, I'm sitting there, my mind is saying, what are you really asking? What is your agenda? It could be bad. It could be good. It might be naive. It could be innocent, or it could be nefarious. But I'm always saying, why did you make that statement? What did you really mean? As what things you couldn't even articulate because you don't even know how to articulate it. Like with the water, they didn't know how to ask for a new technology. They just know for 30 years they've been using ceramic filters. But we knew the weight was a problem. So when we come up with a new design, they didn't ask for it. They didn't know how to ask for it. So ask the prior question, what's really behind their statement?
That's good. Let's talk about AI. You mentioned technology, law, and culture.
Yeah.
Obviously, with AI right now, we are seeing a serious technology disruption. Is that affecting you and your industry, or and how are you adjusting to that?
Oh, absolutely. In a huge way. Our filters that we use overseas now come with a QR code. So before, up until literally now, I'm talking months, not years ago, months ago, to give somebody a filter, we'd have to train them how to use it. We'd have to sit there and show them, and that's very slow. Now we have the QR code, and they can hit it with a smartphone, and it'll take them to our videos, animation videos that will walk you through how to fix it, how to install it, whatever. And then we have our WhatsApp and our SMS system or whatever that is that you can ask, we can interact. We can send you messages. You can send us questions. You can ask us, and our AI will interpret it. I'll interpret either audio or written text and try and get you to the answer before you have to get to a person. But if you can't get there, we will get you to a person. But we use AI to interpret your question and try and answer it totally automated. Obviously, all of our internal stuff at home, customer service, is all done on AI as well. We try to anticipate your questions and have your answers for you. But if you really have to talk to a person, we'll get you to a person. But it's so much faster. So we use AI quite a bit. We also track. We have a GIS system. So every filter is a unique filter. It's not one QR code for a million filters. It's a million QR codes for a million filters. So if you want, we can track it for you. If you want us to, we can go back and ask you, how has it improved your life and all that kind of stuff. So we could build our database and answer questions. And we're always doing that. When we send it out there, listen, oh, we got to make this change. Oh, we got to make this change. So that AI is a very big part of what we do. We are sophisticated way beyond our size.
And as far as the AI, what would you say to listeners when it comes to, obviously, we all have different types of businesses, but it's impacting all of us. Is there a statement you would say to people that still maybe aren't embracing it yet? And
yeah, be careful because it depends on what part of AI you use. Now, we're not using AI to replace Google it. We're not asking for suggestions from AI. They'll give it to you, Snapchat and all that kind of stuff. But we're not, like in the medical community, I get it. They put a problem in there and they do some measurements and they whatever, and then AI will say, here's all the things. But you can't just take what it says, because AI at its root is somebody's opinion or some collection of facts. So you have to be careful that it's not always accurate, but we're using it with our own data and we're using it with our own things. We're not venturing off to have it tell us what to do. So use it smartly. It's very helpful. It speeds things up, obviously, very quickly, but you got to make sure you're not going to get bad advice. So it depends on how you use it. There's lots of parts. AI is a big word for a lot of different aspects.
yeah, I agree with that 100%. And keep asking. I think that's probably the most effective way. At least I've used it, and people I know that use it at a high level, is you keep asking deeper questions. Like you said earlier, don't just take the first thing that it shoots out as, okay, that's the final answer, because usually it's not.
It's not.
And usually it will say things like I've been using ChatGPT since it came out. Before that, I was using Jasper. So I've been involved in the AI LLMs for a while here. And what I realized is that it, for the most part, wants to be right, and it wants to know the answer, and it wants to please you.
Yeah.
For the most part, right? You can program
Right.
it to not do that, but yeah. Anyway, I don't want to
get too far
Well, I
off
think
because
it's useful. It's useful for data collection and for suggestions, but you still have to sift through that to make sure you have the right answer. Don't just take what it says.
100%. Yeah, 100%. As a matter of fact, I tried recently to automate my podcast and I used GPT to create a full automation from recording to dropping it in a link to all the way to production. And it sounded great. I gave it to somebody to design it for me, paid him, and it couldn't be done
Eh,
because a couple of the platforms we recommended didn't even have APIs to do it. And it costs more money to do that than it would to just to hire the best editor in the world. And
Yep.
that was something that it seems so clear and so accurate when I got it. And it was not even close.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is don't count on it to make the decision. Just count on it to
Mm,
gather the options.
yeah. Amen. Hey, man, I appreciate you being here. What's the most, give us like, what are you most proud of or excited about of the things that you've accomplished so far?
One, I survived those 25 years. I had a very storied career. I was doing very well corporately and then said, no, I'm going to do this myself. I don't see it's me. One of the things one of my skill sets is delegating. I have the best people out there. Now, how hard is it to be paid well and work for a company that's absolutely changing the world? We'll get to the point where we're saving millions and millions of lives a year between the repellents and the filters. We're doing whole countries now. Within 2 years, Sawyer alone can make sure everybody in Honduras has clean water. We're to the point now with 30 cents a person, we can do that. And so it's at an explosion level. And that's what's cool. All the dream is about to take place. The last product is about to be and put in place. We just got recognition for the saving the babies through the baby wrap. It's just like all ready to explode right now after 41 years. We're about launched. So it's not me. I got a lot of people involved. Obviously, God's involved. So I don't take credit for it. He gave me skill sets and told me to use them. So that's why we're here. But it's a lot
Amen.
more than me.
Yes, sir. Amen, my brother. Okay, so book Sawyer Think. Show us the book again. How do people get a copy and why should they get a copy?
Well, they can get one from me. If they order at Sawyer, you'll probably get a signed copy, but it's obviously on Amazon. That's the easiest place. You can download it for $6.99 or something like that, but that's the easiest. But it's really, if you're starting a business or if you're young in a business, it's really, one guy called it an MBA in 200 pages. So it's really got a lot of little tidbits in there that are going to help you build your business and avoid, like I said, the biggest thing is to avoid the pitfalls. But we have a lot of tips on how to build a business, how to build customer relationships. When do you need patents? When do you not need patents? We're all over the place. Decision matrix is a big one. Too many people make decisions based on 2 or 3 emotional or variables. We make you come up with 10 to 20 variables because sometimes the back 10 will outweigh the 1 or 2 that you're stuck in your head on. So it's a great tool to keep you from just making an emotional decision or not considering all the future headwinds and pitfalls that will come and get you. That's where the unintended consequences, let's flush them out now. Never do any unanimous decision. That means you haven't thought through the possible problems. Find alternate people, alternate opinions, alternate reasoning. Everybody has to, in the end, has to be in the same direction, but never fill your company with Me Too people. That'd be the worst thing you could do. You're going to miss a lot of the headwinds.
So true, my man. So true. All right. Listen, we appreciate you being here. Congratulations on your success, clearly. And now I'm familiar with Sawyer Products. And so before this, I wasn't. And so maybe at some point I'll see one of your products out there. And then I know I
And
know
you
Kurt.
go into a camping department, you'll see us. We're everywhere.
Yeah. All right. I don't do a lot of camping anymore, but no, I mean, my wife and I have been talking about doing something. So maybe we will now that I had this
Yeah. Or
conversation.
travel overseas. Either way, we'll keep the water safe for you.
All right. Final thoughts, man. Any final thoughts you want to give to our listeners before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, jump in and join us. We do have a Sawyer Foundation. It's a 501c3, totally tax deductible. Any donation made to the 501c3 Sawyer Foundation will go overseas. There's no overhead in foundation. Sawyer covers all the overhead. So if you feel moved to protect babies from malaria or to give people clean water so they can work and not be sick, any dollar given to the Sawyer Foundation will go overseas. It will not be eaten up here.
Outstanding. Thank you for your time today, Kurt.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for tuning in to the Persistent Entrepreneur Podcast. Remember, I exist to persist, and so do you. Make sure to check out our tools at www.davidhill.link. Again, davidhill.link. And as you know, my superpower is follow-up, which is why I spent the last 3 years of my life building the Ring Leader CRM. And right now, I'd like to give you a free 14-day trial to test it for yourself. It was built by me, a 36-year outbound salesperson for salespeople who want to close more sales. If that's you, go to www.ringleadercrm.com right now, sign up and get yourself a free 14-day trial. When you go to checkout, there'll be a button. You can click the box and you'll say 14-day trial. Okay, and by the way, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave us a review, and share your feedback. Let us know if there's a guest you'd like to hear from on the topics you want us to explore, including AI. Appreciate you, entrepreneurs, and remember, David Hill is my name, and closing sales is my game.